Hi, welcome to this week's Monday evening conversation. My name is Annika and I'm the founder here at Mummy Made This, a company I founded back in 2020 to inspire creative play in children. Today's session is all around family chores and how to get the kids involved, or at least how I got my kids involved and what worked and what didn't work and what I learned along the way really. For those of you that are new to our site, every Monday evening, we now do a quick sort of 10, 15-minute Monday night conversation, I've called it, talking about all things family. And the idea is that I want to share with you the things that have worked and haven't worked in my family each week in terms of what I've done with my children on all sorts of different topics, the trials and tribulations. Yes, to help you make your parenting journey that little bit easier, but also to make some of these struggles normal, I guess, and acknowledge that parenting is hard sometimes. No one really teaches you how to do it, and to build a like-minded community around parenting and the ups and downs in that journey. So this week's, as I say, is all about getting the kids involved in family chores. So lately, I was getting increasingly frustrated about the kids not helping at all in the house. Or that's certainly what it felt like. It felt like they would just drop their clothes wherever they wanted. They would sit down at the kitchen table for breakfast, and literally everybody was sat, including me, at the table, and they go, "Mom, can you get me a drink? Mom, can you get me a spoon? Mom." Oh, and it was driving me bonkers. And I felt it was really unfair because I was feeling more and more like a slave, I guess. And they really weren't doing much. And it also felt as if, do you know what? I spend so much time running around everybody that actually everybody gets to miss out on the fun stuff. If we all helped with some of the jobs that need doing, actually there'd be way more time for us all to enjoy as a family. So that's why that was sort of my starting point. My husband was away at the time as well. So over the past few weeks, he's been away quite a lot. So it was just me and the three kids. So it was even more important for me to get them to join in, and us all to feel a bit more like a team and that we're in this together. I know that I would often just do stuff for them because it felt easier than taking on that battle of persuading them to do something, or sometimes, especially when they hadn't been doing much, it would take a lot longer to show them how to do it and ask them to get involved and, respect that they would do it their way rather than the way I wanted it done. Or if we were running late, I'd be like, I'll just quickly do it. It's fine. So, but actually, I think in the long run, it ended up, um, being the wrong approach really. And I think it really struck me when for whatever reason, I was thinking back to when I was a child, and I must have been about 9, and I was on a school hop, one of my very first school trips. And I remember us all as kids, we'd all been sort of assigned the bunk bed we were going to sleep in. And I was unpacking the bedding, my duvet and my sheet, and I was making my bed. And I remember being amazed that some of my friends, who were obviously same age as me, had no idea what to do with their sheet, or which way round, or how to put their duvet cover on their duvet. And it kind of got me thinking that, what, I bet Josh would have no idea, he's 9 now, really how to do that, or to do other things. Some things he can do great, like he loves cooking, he's great at that. But in terms of helping himself do some of those more mundane, maybe chores, he would have no idea. And I kind of felt, oh, maybe I'm doing him a bit of a disservice, because I certainly remember feeling really proud and feeling really capable of being able to look after myself on that first school trip, without my parents. And my friends, on the other hand, feeling really quite lost without their parents there to do this kind of stuff for them. So yeah, I thought, do you know what? Even though Josh and Hylia and Rupert would probably disagree that it'll do them good to do some of these jobs for themselves, I think in the long run it will. And actually that's what it's certainly shown me over the last few weeks, where we have been doing more of the family chores together as a team, rather than me just doing it all for everybody. I think, yeah, it's done everybody a lot of good. And I've not tried to do everything. I've literally picked one thing that was driving me bonkers, which was at the breakfast table. That's how we started it, and we've extended it to all meals. But getting everybody down to come down to the table and help with setting the table and clearing the table after breakfast, and then after dinner as well. So let's see, what have I got here? So yeah, that's right. At first I told them what I wanted them to do. So I would say, when they come down and say, right, Josh, you get the plates out, Isla, you do the beakers, and Rupert, you do the Nutella, or whatever it was. And actually that I learned really quickly that that didn't work. So it was a battle then with every single child every single morning to like literally twist their arm to get to do that, whatever I thought I needed help with that morning. And it was exhausting. So that didn't work for me. So the following week, I ended up writing, I turned it on its head. I wrote down all the things that I broke it down into all the little individual jobs that I thought needed doing to be able to set the table and clear the table. And then rather than me telling them what I wanted them to do, I got them all to sit down with me and then pick and choose which jobs they were most interested in and which they wanted to be responsible for. I also learned, so that really, really worked because they got to negotiate with each other and with me that one time, and then they were assigned that job and they had picked that job. So there was far fewer arguments the next day than when we implemented that. The one thing that I did learn though, that initially I didn't put my jobs on there. So my job was, making packed lunches for everybody, emptying the dishwasher, that kind of stuff. And I hadn't put that on initially. And that then backfired a bit because they were like, well, Mum, you don't do anything. We're doing all the work and oh my goodness, and look, and you're doing nothing. And I was like, well, I'm still doing stuff here in the background. So it's really important for me to put on that as well. And for me to assign myself, okay, and I will do the packed lunches, for example. And that made it, I think, somehow fairer in their eyes. And it was fine for me as well, for them to recognize that everybody's doing their bit, including me. So, oh yes, so that was the first thing, was everybody got to choose the chores that they wanted to do and they negotiated amongst each other once, and then we stuck with that, and that was good. The second one, that I included my chores as well, so it was very transparent that everybody was doing their bit, including me. And then the third thing, which I hadn't originally done, was after about a week, the kids started arguing and saying, well, putting Nutella on the table is the best job. Who knew? But honestly, that is the favorite job in our family for whatever reason. And Rupert always gets to do that and nobody else does. And well, this is not fair. So we ended up having it so that the jobs are not set in stone, so that they negotiate and they pick whatever job they want to do, and then we agree on it's either a week or 2 weeks or one term or whatever. But in their minds, it's really important that that's not forevermore that person gets to do that job, and that they then the next week or the next couple of weeks, whichever time frame we picked, they get to swap it around again, and then somebody else gets to put the Nutella on the table. So that was the third one that I noticed was really important. So, oh yes, the other thing I realized, so I'd been watching it was an Instagram video, I think, by a really good parenting coach called Amy McCready that I follow. And she had suggested that rather than calling it chores or jobs, or which I had been doing, to reframe it and call it family contributions, or word it as we're in a team, we're doing this together, we all do our bit. And that interestingly really made a difference for my kids as well, that it was something positive rather than, oh, I've got to do these jobs again. So that was something that I did, and that's made a huge difference. And I guess initially, even though getting into this new routine was hard, and it's, believe me, sometimes it still is. So for example, when we oversleep and things do need to get done really quickly, it's much harder to get the kids to come on, you've got to set this quickly, and sometimes I still fall into the trap of doing it for them then just to get it done. Or when the bit that I found the hardest was when whatever child is responsible for setting the table, as in but doing either the cups or the bowls or the plates, say, if that child happens to be the one that's the last one down to the table and everybody else is sort of ready and sitting there, but they don't have a plate or a bowl in front of them, and so it kind of holds up the whole process. They end up eating their toast without a plate. That bit is really frustrating, and it costs me every bit of my willpower to not jump in and rescue and put that plate down, but to coax that child down and help them to do the job that they've to do their bit as a team. So it's good days and not so good days, as in any family. But I think on the days that it does go well, it is wonderful, because for me, certainly, I feel like, and you can see the smile and the joy on the kids' face as well, we really feel like we're a team, things go really smoothly, it's so much quicker, everybody does their bit, and then we can all sit down together and really enjoy breakfast together and have a conversation. And it's just wonderful. You can see, as I say, that they enjoy it as well, that they're contributing positively somehow, and I certainly enjoy it, and I don't feel under pressure as much either to to get this all done by myself, because I'm not on my own. I have a team around me, and that's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. And it's wonderful, obviously, as well, to know that I'm helping them grow their independence and autonomy. I think this is sort of linked to hang on a minute, to another another post that was done by this parenting coach, Amy McCready. This whole idea of seeing that joy on the children's faces and seeing them be so positive about this, it links into this idea that she talked about a number of weeks ago now, about children needing 2 buckets filling every day, and one of those buckets is their power bucket, and one of these buckets is what she calls their attention bucket. And children will fill these buckets every day, no matter what, either in negative ways if they don't get opportunities to do them in positive ways, or if you give them an opportunity to fill these buckets in positive ways, then they don't actually need to fill them in negative ways. So I think getting them involved in these family chores helps them fill their 2 buckets in a really positive way, because I guess setting the table helps them fill their control bucket, in the sense that they can control whether the beaker that goes on that table is a pink or a blue or yellow one. They can control if, today they're going to put jam and marmalade and Nutella on the table, or actually they just want Nutella that day, and they ask their brothers and sisters, and they decide, and they have some control over that. Or we have different sized spoons, obviously, or different shaped spoons even. They choose what kind of spoon or knife or whatever goes on that table. So I think it goes a long way to them feeling that autonomy and that control, and that helps them feel build their confidence and their self-esteem, I guess. And in terms of filling their attention bucket, I guess it fills their attention bucket in the sense that they not only can clearly see how much joy it brings me, and therefore positive attention from me, that we're all working together as a team. I think it's intrinsically motivated because they feel that themselves, but it's extrinsically motivated as well because they can see that joy on my face and that positive attention that they get from me. But they also get literal positive attention from me, because rather than me rushing around like a headless chicken, getting, oh, mommy, get me a spoon, get me a drink, get me this, because everybody has joined in, we all sit at the table together, and there is then suddenly time to sit and have a conversation at breakfast, rather than everybody panicking and rushing. And that in itself then is that positive start to the day, and that positive attention that each child gets more of, which is wonderful. So yeah, I guess I highly recommend it. I loved on the good days, I absolutely love it. It is wonderful. Sure, there's some days where it's still tricky and we're still learning to implement this, but I really, really recommend it. I would say test something that's really bugging you, and it's something small or contained that you can get the children involved in. So for me, it was, as I say, setting and clearing the table every day. And then grow it from there. That's certainly my mission. I'm going to try the next thing soon. I'm thinking maybe could I even get them involved in helping with the washing, because at the minute, literally, wherever they get undressed, they just drop their clothes wherever they are, and it feels like a complete losing battle keeping on top of the washing in our house. So my vision, I guess, one day is that they not only put it in the washing basket when it's right there, but maybe even I can get to teach them how to use the washing machine, wash their own clothes and mine, maybe, who knows, push the boat out, and help with hanging it up and folding it. But I think that will be a little way off. For now, I am still working on getting everybody smoothly involved in setting the table in the morning and clearing the table and doing it in the evening as well, which is slightly harder when they're hungry and tired. It doesn't work quite so well yet in the evenings, but we're getting there slowly. If you would like to, the one thing I was going to say, what I will share with everybody is the list of things. When I broke down the chores in terms of setting that table, what exactly I broke it down into chunks for them to pick and choose what things they wanted to do. So I will share that list, and I will share it in the blog that will be available on Wednesday evening. If you would like to share, if you would like to be on my mailing list for that, you can either go onto my website, www.mummymadethis.co.uk, and sign up there on the sign up box, or you can go to the direct link, which is www.mummymadethis.co.uk/mailing list to be added, and you will receive a weekly email then with the latest blog posts, including this one. As you know, each week I want to cover topics that really matter to you and will make the most difference to you. and I want to connect with you by sharing stories and trials and tribulations of the things that haven't worked with my 3 kids. And I want to keep it really real in terms of what is helpful, because I know parenting is marvelous, but it is a tricky journey sometimes, and yeah, everybody has good days and bad days, so I really want to be helpful in that way. So if there are any topics that you would like to talk about, send me an email at annika@mummymadethis.co.uk and I will add it to my list. Next week and the week after, it is Easter holidays here for our lot, so we'll be taking a break from the Monday night conversations, but we will be back after the Easter break. And in that session, I'm going to talk about love languages. So I recently came across this book by Gary Chapman and Ross Campbell, The 5 Love Languages of Children. He wrote one, Love Languages of Adults as well. And it has been really eye-opening and amazing actually how different each of the children are, what I think each of their love languages are, and also what I think my husband's love language is, and how that has really helped, I think, to do the right things for that person, to show them that love, and how different that can be for different people. I've always assumed, obviously, what I think is right for me in terms of how to show me love is similar to everybody else, and that it would be quite generic. But it's been fascinating reading this book, and how then by trying some of those things, how it really has made a difference to understanding my children better, and my husband as well, and them understanding me better. So yeah, I've certainly found it fascinating. If you want to have a look at that as well, so that'll be in a couple of weeks' time after the Easter break. That will be the topic for a Monday night conversation. In the meantime, if you've missed any past videos and you'd like to take a look at them, they're on my YouTube channel at Mummy Made This, or you can sign up and be sent a regular weekly email with all the past links at www.mummymadethis.co.uk/Monday night. And with that, I will leave you to have a wonderful rest of your week and a wonderful Easter break. And I look forward to seeing you when we're all back. Take care. Bye.